Hello my fellow Retromaniacs and welcome to Let's Read Super Mario Bros. 2 Manual for NES. So I never owned this game on NES, only had the Super Mario Bros. 1 and 3. So the first time I played SMB2 was in Super Mario All-Stars, and that's why I'm listening to that music as well. So yeah, the game is part of my childhood, but I have never got to read the manual because I never owned the box or the game. So let's read it. It's always nice to read these old manuals. They usually had like cool original art style. You know, when Mario wasn't still like defined what it's now has been like last 30 years now. I think Mario has not changed too much, but back then, you know, Mario could look quite drastically different from game to game and from manual to manual. Needed to seal quality. Okay. Gangs of enemy characters. Yeah, this is an interesting game because, as you all know, this was originally Doki Doki Panic. That was then like a ROM hacked into a Mario game. So all these weird, all weird aspects of the game are probably like explained by the fact that this wasn't a Mario game to begin with. And see, it's interesting to think that, you know, like Shy Guys and many of the enemies that appear were not intended to be Mario enemies, but now they are part of a Mario world. So yeah, I wonder if the game had been even weirder. I wonder if they could have even turned it into a Mario game. It had like some like demons. Well, I think those opening mouths and the masks, they are quite weird and very un-Mario-like things. But you know, that was a video game, so anything can go. And even here, I think they had to like explain this, that we are not in a Mushroom Kingdom. It's just a strange dream. So they were like, okay, well, this is not a typical Mario game, so we have to like create this frame story here. One evening, Mario had a strange dream. He dreamt of a long stairway leading up to a door. As long as the door opened, he was confronted with a world he had never seen before, spreading out as far as his eyes could see. When he strained his ears to listen, he heard a faint voice saying, "Welcome to Subcon, the land of dreams. We have been cursed by Wart, and we are completely under his evil spell. We have been awaiting your arrival. Please defeat Wart and return Subcon to its natural state. The curse Wart has put on you in the real world will not have any effect upon you here. Remember, Wart hates vegetables. Please help us." At the same time this was heard, a bolt of lightning flashed before Mario's eyes. Stunned, Mario lost his footing and tumbled upside down. He awoke with a start to find himself sitting up in his bed. To clear his head, Mario talked to Luigi, Toad and Princess about the strange dream he had. They decided to go to a nearby mountain for a picnic. After arriving at the picnic area and looking at the scenery, they see a small cave nearby. When they enter this cave, to their great surprise, there's a stairway leading up and up and up. It's exactly like the one Mario saw in his dream. They all walk together up the stairs and at the top. Find a door, just like the one in Mario's dream. When Mario and his friends, in fear, open the door to their surprise, the world that he saw in his dream spreads out before them. But in the end, they show that Mario just wakes up, so he's dreaming that he's dreaming and waking up in a dream. So it's still like a dream. I mean, I don't know. Is this supposed to be all like dream? Why do Shy Guys exist outside of Mario's dream anyway? And Birdo? I don't know. It's just magic fixes story, so it doesn't have to like be real anyway. It's like Mushroom Kingdom is anyway more real than this Subcon, so even Mushroom Kingdom it should be like a dream, because Mario is supposed to be like a plumber from Brooklyn. So why isn't Mushroom Kingdom a dream if Subcon is? I don't know. Whatever. They just wanted to make it more complex than it is. Rules of the game. Yeah, the simple days. Just 2 buttons. I always wondered what would have happened if like NES or Nintendo had like Xbox type of control, or like PlayStation with 8 or 10 buttons, or already in the 80s. So I think that could have made the 8-bit era games more complex, if you had like 10 buttons like modern gamepads have. At least it would have helped like for some games like with navigation, like Zelda. You could have like more buttons to assign items, or yeah. Wonder if there's any like ROM hacks that allow you to like have more than 2 main buttons, because all ROM hacks they, even though they are ROM hacks, they still like limit themselves to what NES was physically capable of. But if you like I don't know, maybe like do a PC port, then of course you are not restricted to 2 buttons anymore. So you could have like how many buttons you want, like 10 buttons, like. But yeah, it would have been interesting to like speculate what kind of games the developers had come up with if NES had 10 buttons or so. All right, mushroom retainer, Toad. What the hell is this? I've never heard of Toad being described as a mushroom retainer. He's Toad himself, right? Princess Toadstool. Mario and Luigi look scared. Like, oh my! Oh my! 7 worlds. Clear all 20 areas. Spoilers. Yeah, that's why I actually prefer not having the manual, because when you don't have the box or the manual, you are just playing the game completely blind. But if you have the manuals, they can like spoil even the final boss. So yeah. So sometimes the manuals are like shortened player's guides, where they don't like try to even hide the secrets or any spoilers. So it's actually better not to read the manual until you have played the game. That's my logic. This game is comprised of 20 areas in 7 worlds, as shown in the diagram above. There's a little boss at the end of each area. The big boss, Ward, is waiting for you at the end of the final area, once you have cleared all the other areas. Okay, that's just Mario sticker from, I think, the Nintendo World Challenge. Now what each character can do. Jumping power. Different jumping powers. Mario, average jumping power in almost all situations, but the height he can jump decreases a little when he is carrying an item. Luigi, he can jump the highest and can go much farther, but he jumps slowly. When he has an item, his power decreases more than Mario. Yeah, I used to play usually as Luigi or Princess Toadstool just because, you know, they can take gaps with more ease. You don't risk falling into gaps, so that's why I usually played with the character with good air. I never played as Toad. He has the least jumping power, but since he has lifting power, the height he can jump and the speed he can run does not change even if he's carrying an item. Princess Toadstool. She is number 3 in jumping power. When you hold down the A button, she can float in the air for about 1.5 sec. Her jumping power decreases quite a bit when she's carrying an item. They all run at the same speed, but if they are carrying something, the order from the slowest to quickest is Princess Toadstool, Luigi, Mario, Toad. Picking up mushroom blocks. The speed at which they pick up items in the order of the slowest to quickest is Princess Toadstool, Luigi, Mario and Toad. Yeah, I think speedrunners like to use Toad because he's the fastest, but you know, I never cared about speed, so I would select either Princess or Luigi. Watch out for game over. You lose a life when your life meter becomes 0. The life meter starts from the second mark. When the marks are all white, you lose a life. This meter can increase to a maximum of 4 marks. If you slip up when the number of lives remaining is 0, the game will be over. It's interesting that this was like one of the earliest games with no time limit, so you can like spend as much time as you want exploring the level. Then they like in Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World they returned to like timed levels, which I kind of like hated because you know, it's not an arcade game. There's no like rush to like force the player to like lose his turn, because you are playing on home and you don't lose your turn, and nor you have to like put more coins. So I like the Super Mario Bros. 2 because it didn't have that arcade feeling of having a time limit. If you fall down, it becomes smaller when the life meter reaches 1 mark. Be careful. Retry and continue. Yeah, obviously, if this was a Famicom Disk System game, it would have different stuff, but I don't know. I don't know if the original Doki Doki Panic has like manual. Obviously, it's in Japanese, but maybe with some OCR you could read it. It would be interesting to read the original Doki Doki Panic manual. Let's see how Mario and his friends move around. How to use the controller. Move right. Climb down. Pick up items or lift enemies. Throw items or go faster. You can do all kinds of jumps. A jump on the spot. very basic stuff. They like treating that, you know, this could be the first game a person is playing ever. So it's like, what is this thingamabob I'm holding on my hand? Which way I'm supposed to turning? They're like, yeah. Maybe some people actually like first held the controller upside down because they didn't know what was right. Even though it says select and start, so that indicates what's the up and what's the up wrong way. Running jump. Jump by pressing either the right or left side of the control pad and using the A button while running. You can jump higher than a jump on the spot, so it's easier to avoid enemy attacks. Power squat jump. The player will flash when the bottom of the control pad is pressed and held A. When you jump, you will be able to jump 1.5 times higher than regular jumps. Oh, did I actually calculated that or measured it? Is it just exactly 1.5? Maybe it's in the code. Well, I trust them. I don't know if any like later Mario games have this power squat jump system. I'm not aware of any games. I think it's you know, it was probably replaced by wall jumping and double and triple jumping, because, you know, it just slows down the gameplay when you have to like stop completely for a bigger jump. And also you kind of like cannot do it. You can't do it for jumping over gaps, and if there are enemy coming, you cannot like just crouch. So yeah, I wonder who made these pictures of Mario. Was this made by the US, Nintendo USA, or was this made by the Japanese artists? I don't know. They never like have credits of the manual. It's like anonymous writers, anonymous artists who make these manuals, which is annoying, because, you know, you should always give credit to every person who's doing his job or her job. So they should just credit about who's the artist behind this cartoon style, and who's the translator of this manual. I don't know. Try pulling up the grass. When you press the B button when standing on the grass, you find it growing here and there. You will pull it out and lift it up. On the surface on the desert, you can also dig in the soft sand. Yeah, usually in the inside of the pyramids. Carry a mushroom block. You stand on a mushroom block, you press B button and lift it, just like a vegetable. Throw items, bombs and mushroom blocks. A bomb can be dropped at the player's feet by. For other items can be thrown much farther by. Show distance away by. Attack enemies with enemies. If you stand on an enemy and press B button, you will be able to lift up the enemy and can throw him at other enemies. That's also a thing that I don't think many games retain, like Super Mario Bros. 3. I don't think you can pick any enemies except the bombs. But then, well, obviously in Super Mario World you can then lift like Koopa shells. So yeah, but not like this, like just standing on top of an enemy. Or you can like ride all enemies. can also go faster, acceleration speed. Dodge the enemies skillfully. You can duck if you press the bottom of the control pad. With this you can dodge flying enemies. It's funny how like the screenshots here are very low quality. They just took a picture of the television screen. There's almost like this noir pattern here showing. It's very like the colors are all off because of the flash on TV. But you know, there was no like a proper way to capture it, I don't think. Well, obviously some like game magazines had their like capture cards to capture like good quality pictures from the game, but I think you know, that only happened like in the 90s. You know, this was like in the 80s, so they didn't really have like capture cards, at least on a like PC or Amiga, I don't know. You know, it's interesting how like what kind of hassle you need in order to get like digitized picture. Or maybe this wasn't like digitized picture, it was like it was first like shot and then it was like put on put on paper, and then the paper was I don't know, maybe scanned, and then it was put on the manual physically, I don't know, or maybe these were like cut out paper pictures. I'm not quite sure how was printing done in the 1980s, you know, without computers. How could you have like pictures? It's all weird how things got easier with the computers scanning and, you know, digitizing digital files. But you know, back then it had to be all manually layered when printing. Try climbing vines and chains. If you get on an enemy on top of a vine, you can toss him off. Enter open doors. To go through a door, stand in front of it and press the top of the control pad. Duh, if you haven't got a key, you won't be able to go in locked doors. Destroy walls with bombs. There are places in caves and towers where brick walls obstruct your path. Use bombs to destroy the walls. Items that can help Mario and his friends. Coins. Yeah, look at that though. There's like all noise because it's like moving. The image is it is like ghosting because of like coaxial cable. So yeah, I don't know when actually they could be able to like import the original graphic assets from the games. I guess, you know, if they could have like contact Nintendo or the developer team, they could have maybe get the original assets from you know, original sprites and then just print it on here. But yeah, they just had to take pictures with camera. Unripened vegetables. They are not fully grown, just give them to the enemies. Vegetables. If you pull out a lot of them, you will get the star or the clock little shells. Then you throw them, they slide and hit the enemy. Mushroom block. They were used as steps and for attacking the enemy. Disappear when you enter a warp to subspace at a certain place. Your life meter will increase by 1 mark, 1 up. Small heart disappears when you beat a lot of enemies. The life meter recovers by 1 mark. Power block. When you throw this, the earth shakes and you can beat all enemies. Key. You need this to open locked doors. Your running speed does not change even if you have a key. Oh, I never noticed that. Yeah, they don't mention the switch. The clock. Go to the subspace with magic. If you find a magic potion, try throwing it. When you do that, a door will appear. You'll enter the subspace if you press the top of the control pad while in front of the door. The grass in subspace will turn into coins until you use magic twice in that area. If you place a door in a certain place, there will be a heart that will increase your life. Oh, I didn't know that it's the grass that will turn into coins. Oh, I guess I realized that. But yeah, this was the most like interesting part of the game. I remember as a child, I always like when I replayed the level, I always tried different place where to throw the subspace like potion, and maybe usually try all like spots if there would be like secret pipe or another mushroom somewhere. Warp. You'll become invincible by collecting cherries. A starman will appear when you collect enough cherries. When you pick this up, you will become invincible for a limited time. Time stop. Oh, there it is. Stopwatch. Footsteps are not only used for attack. If you have already taken 4 and you take a 5th one, a stopwatch will appear. Then you take this, the enemy's movement will stop for a minute. So why they didn't mention it here? It's like clickbait. A bonus chance at the end of an area. Clear the screen by overthrowing the boss character. At the end of each area there is a mask that becomes a gate to the next area. In order to open the gate you must get a hold of the crystal ball. Perdo sometimes has the crystal ball, so get it back by defeating him. Oh, wait a second. Wasn't Perdo supposed to be her and not him? I guess it has changed at some point. Or maybe he's like a sexual thing. Let's see what Perdo is supposed to be. Perdo. Yeah, I think nowadays she's she, feminine. But back then Perdo was called masculine. The boss is waiting for you again. Look at that quality. It's just so bad. Bonus stage. The game is one of chance. Get more lives by collecting cherries. Get 1 play for each coin you have collected from the last. Obstructing your way. Gangs of enemy characters. What are these like? This looks like a MS Paint or somehow like 10-year-old doing a drawing. Shy Guy, a member of the 8-Bits, a club from Evil Dreams. What? It's supposed to mean he wears a mask because he's shy. He moves back and forth. He must carefully avoid him. Tweether, it's a bird with a mask. He hops, try to get on top of his head. Sniff it, red, member of the 8-Bits. He wears... What is this 8-Bits club? He wears a mask and spits the bullets on Evil Dreams from his mouth. It seems that this Doki Doki Panic, everything was about like mask. There's those mask enemies and everything is wearing a mask. So what's behind the mask? I wonder. Do we actually see them anywhere taking off their mask? Are they just like... Are they Koopas? Or Goombas? Or maybe ninjas? Yeah, they had a like obsession of masks. Almost looks like a black face. Ninja, I think I never heard of this name. I don't think I'd ever like called it anything, you know. You know, when you're playing this as a kid, you just have to come up with your own names for enemies. So it is like a red enemy and bird enemy and like a shooting enemy and jumping enemy, flying enemy. Yeah, that's usually the terminology you would use when you didn't have the manual. Bizo. Looks like a shy guy with wings. Again with masks. Stay calm and study his movements carefully. Hoopster. He's a creature about the size of a basketball. He resembles a ladybug. He winds and crawls up on a down. Panto. He's normally at rest but waits by keys. If you take a key, he will pursue you. Yeah, this was the scariest enemy, weirdest enemy in Super Mario Bros. 2. I don't know if this Phanto has appeared in any later games. Just so weird because it's from Doki Doki Panic. I don't know what's the backstory of this Phanto in the Doki Doki Panic. What's the reason it exists? It might be like some lore. It's like some kind of god or spirit. It's a Japanese game, so it's usually about spirits and whatnot. Trouter. It's a fish which lives in a world of dreams. Doesn't everything live in a world of dreams? This is all dream world. You'll find it in waterfalls and rivers. He interferes with Mario. Porukubo. His body is entirely covered with spines, so you can climb his back. This character actually appears in Yoshi's Island. At least a very similar looking character. Babamb. He has a terrible temper. When he gets angry, he explodes. Again, a classic Mario villain, but it's from Doki Doki Panic. Albatross. He used to be a resident in the world of dreams. Now, by order of Wart, he works as a carrier of Babams. Gid. He brings evil dreams. He can't fly on his own, so Wart gave him a flying carpet. Okay. Gobrat, usually asleep in a jar. It moves on Wart's command, often appearing in the dreams of Toad. What do you mean, Toad? It's supposed to be Mario's dream. Now they're all dreaming individually. I don't know. Makes no sense. Panzer. The only plant life what created the world of dreams. It spouts fire. Yeah, these pictures are quite cute. Whoever was the artist, he or she had to use quite a lot of imagination to like make it like this. I don't know how many pixels. This like 15 pixels tall. So it's not lots of features that are visible. So it's very difficult to make like details when you have to like have official art for that enemy. Ostro, he serves as a means of transportation in the world of dreams. Shy guys often ride him. Pokey. A Pokey appears in later games like Super Mario 64. It is a walking cactus. Its entire body, except for its head, is covered with thorns. Thorns will hurt you if you touch them. Audubon, Shy Guy's favorite ride. It's also referred to as a bad dream machine. Flurry. Snow monster. He'll chase you on ice skates. Spark. He shines and moves in a circular motion around the walls and floors of the underground. He moves fast or slow. Also appears in Super Mario 64. Birdo. He thinks he is a girl and he spits eggs from his mouth. He'd rather be called Birdetta. Okay, so they acknowledge the like gender confusion already in the manual. It's very like progressed character already in the 80s. Mouser is a bomber of bad dreams that destroys good dreams. It is proud and it doesn't believe that it is just a mouse. Why sometimes they like refer things as he or she, but Mouser is referred as it, like, and not he. I don't know why. Why is Mouser not a living thing but a inanimate object? It. Fry Guy. What gave life to this entity, which is created from fire? It spits fireballs when he's mad. Yeah, I would have enjoyed this manual if I had it as a kid, because you know, I like all these like character and enemy galleries. Triclide. He was once an outsider, but now he is one of Ward's helpers, since he impressed Ward with his cunning brain and offensive capabilities, which are 3 times normal strength. Well, we could argue that he has 3 brains. Claw Grip. He grows suddenly, and he is surprisingly skilled at throwing rocks. And this, I think, appears in Yoshi's Island. At least very similar looking enemy. Ward. He is the most mischievous of all in the world of dreams. He created monsters by playing with the dream machine. Has Ward appeared in any later Mario games? I'm not aware of that any. Is there like a spin-off? Maybe he's like nowadays in like Mario Kart, I don't know. But you know, Doki Doki Panic, you know, because it was like Nintendo's own game, they don't like, it's not third-party game, so they own the license for every Doki Doki Panic characters, because you know it was made by Shigeru Miyamoto and the music was composed by Koji Kondo, so it's almost like official Mario game. Well, it is, but you know what I mean. It's not like they turned like third-party game into a Mario game, then there would be some kind of a legal action probably against that, you know. If it had been like a rare game originally and then they would have made it a Mario game, then I guess Rare would like try to argue that they own the characters. But since it was Nintendo's first party game, they don't have that problem. Oh, and that's all there is. Okay, well, I didn't learn. Well, I learned the enemy names, so that was something new. That's always the thing which I hope learning when I read these old manuals, that you get some information you don't get from the game, and it's usually like those like names and some backstory. So yeah, but okay, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.